So I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Jason, and I run basically about basil, basil breeding business, and we strive to create new and interesting varieties of basil, along with growing many different varieties of basil from around the world. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the background of our chaos theory basil. We're an open pollination basil breeding farm. Basil is a hermaphroditic, heavily outcrossing plant that the pollinators will mix up the pollen from pretty far distances. And we replant basil and pick out the best ones and keep propagating them. And sometimes you get lucky and you get volunteers that show up that look really great. And our chaos theory basil showed up in the garden, and my mother was cooking a dish, some fresh garden spring rolls, and I was wondering what kind of basil is that in there, and I was like, wow, that's kind of great. She said, oh, it's out in the garden, and I was like, I've never seen that one. I pay attention to the basils, and it turned out it was a volunteer that showed up in the garden. So if you grow a lot of basil, you'll probably notice you'll get volunteers in the garden, and sometimes they can turn out to be hybrids. Basil hybridizes quite easily, and this one turned out to be a really great hybrid. And we thought, oh, we'll just keep propagating this one. So I cloned it in 2023, overwintered it in the greenhouse, and then kept propagating it the next year. Planted quite a lot of it for a pollinator garden and tried to spread some of the pollen as a breeder plant. It clones quite easy. Now it's a hybrid of probably a basilicum type plant, not quite sure, but I can tell that it's definitely hybridized with a plant that's called temperate tulsi. It's the plant that's commonly referred to as holy basil in the U.S., but it's East African basil. It's been identified as a wild East African basil by Rico Czech and Asimum africanum. So our chaos theory basil is a Asimum africanum cross Asimum basilicum probably, but it just came out with a really great flavor, really unique flavor. It's great for cooking. It's a great ornamental basil. You can see from the flowers that it's quite pretty. It has these nice purple flowers with some fade to white on them. The leaves in the cooler temperatures can take on a nice purple hue. They have a great serration on them. It's kind of a sprawling, gnarly plant, kind of grows chaotically. And you might wonder, why do I call this chaos theory? I'm a physicist by training, but I've been growing basil about as long as I've been studying physics and have quite a lot of experience with it. And this one showed up kind of randomly in the garden, the chaos of the garden. So I thought chaos theory was a great name, just emerged in the chaos of the garden. So it's a really great plant, really ornamental in nature, and we're got some seeds from it this year. We're going to try to start a seed line with it and see what kind of plants we can get out of the seeds. So just thought I'd share some history on this plant and a little bit about open pollination, basil breeding strategies of selection and finding cool plants. Highly recommend, trying out, seed saving from basil, especially if you grow different varieties. If you grow different varieties and you save your seeds from basil, you are sure to find hybrids, and that can be quite fun. Basil is a very diverse collection of species of plants in the Asimum genus that can hybridize both intra-species and interspecies, and you can get quite spectacular results and really cool new things, new flavors, new looks. So just wishing you all the best and happy gardening to you. Looking forward to 2025. If you have an indoor grow, hope that's going good. And hopefully your 2025 grow season goes great for you. See y'all again next time.